Hey, today I want to talk about a few Purrely rulings you should know when you play this deck. Keep in mind that this guy is beginner friendly, so if you're experienced with this deck, you know something of this or the most. Let's start with something simple. When does Street and my friend trigger? They both said when your Purrely XE leave the field by your opponent card. It's very hard to remove your Purrely XEs and don't trigger this both cards. Obviously, when you destroy it by battle or card effect or banish it, both trigger. Triggers also by something like Kaijus, Lava Golem, Santa Claus, and even by Underworld Goddess, because he leaves the field by your opponent card. And now, when these cards do not trigger. Basically, when your opponent activates a card that forces you as a player to put something away. Common example of this situation are Evenly Matched and Herald of the Abyss. You as a player choose to put a card by Evenly Matched face down or by Herald of the Abyss sending to the graveyard. So the Xyz don't leave the field by a card of your opponent. The Noir leaves the field because of you. And again, a pretty simple one. Your Purrely XE gains the effect of the spells that are attached. A Happy Memory can make a second attack. Sleepy Memory, you can draw a card, gains RTK and death, and you can send one card to the graveyard to attach one card your opponent control. It's important that this affects stacks. You gain all of these effects, and when you have memory a second time under this card, this Purrely XYZ has the effect of, for example, Pretty Memory twice. So you can send one card to attach one card, do it again, and then you can summon Noir, and Noir becomes the effect 2. You can send 2 cards and attach 2 cards your opponent control. So the next Purrely and Lily's effect to summon an XYZ are extend summons. That means when you summon Purrely XE, your opponent cannot strike the summon, cannot judgment the summon, and cannot using something like Zauravis. These cards can only negate intense summonings. Summonings that don't start a chain. Obviously, your opponent could strike the effect of Purrely or Lily, but when the summon resolves, he can't. So coming to the next ruling, X-Purrely Noir is only unaffected against activated card effects of your opponent. So the common situations that will happen is your opponent activates Skill Drain, that shuts down Noir, so you have to chain it. D-Barrier will happen, Black Gold Loves will happen, the Graveyard effect. You can out Noir also with Scareclaw Kashtira, and Drago Saperia will also happen. He puts in counter of it and have a lingering effect that the monster with encounter cannot activate this effects. So cards with a lingering effect does work against Noir and can out him. Quick ruling, when your Noir or other XE is outing by something like Santa Claus or destroying by battle Street and my friend triggers, and Street is mandatory, you have to activate it. My friend isn't mandatory, so Street is always chainlink 1. When Purrely Happiness battles in end of the damage step, you can search a Purrely card and halve a monster of your opponent, or you could halve your own monsters. Could be relevant. But when you crash into a bigger monster like Fenrir and Happy would be destroyed, you could search, but you couldn't halve the attack of one monster. And we come to the last one, and I think this is the most interesting. When your opponent controls Emden, I don't have an Emden, but I have this penguin token, or I have something like 2 or 3 Emdens, and you have happiness. You can attack, you can crash into an Emden, because your happiness is when he doesn't have delicious at 2k. You attack into Emden, happiness would be destroyed. And because when happiness is destroyed, he activates in graveyard, so you could activate the effect of happiness. And your street and my friend triggers. So what you do is attack, crash into Emden, special summon Lily or Purrely by the field spell, and this is mandatory channeling 1, so your first effect is happiness or my friend, so we take something like happiness, you add, I don't know, pretty memory, then my friend adds 3 from graveyard, and the street special summon Purrely in defense. Then you can activate Purrely again, maybe you finding something, and in main phase 2 you can activate Purrely, make plump something or beauty, and then you can activate the pretties, stack it, and attach all the Emdens as material. So this works under skill drain 2. Basically is the same when your opponent controls the Emden or skill drain. Happiness activates and he is declared as marked in graveyard, so he can activate the effect even your opponent controls Emden or skill drain, and then you can play afterwards. Skill drain is a little bit tricky because you have no effects with this Purrely, but for an example. So I hope I could help you a little bit, and when you have any questions about the Purrely deck, ask in the comments and I give you a quick answer, or if your question is an interesting one, I could make a video about it. And yeah, so see you on the next video.